TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 12th. And, well, again, the war has been solved. It's imminent. And the market reacted strongly to that. We know it's not going to be the case, but the market liked it. And everyone's getting super excited about the SpaceX IPO. And, then the questions will be, what's the next one? So a lot of excitement from that. Doesn't change some of the numbers we're starting to see from inflation, blah, 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 blah. But you can see, we talked about this, the steel crossing above orange and the continuation of the orange dipping. So now you get the turnaround here of green, and that it's not hasn't converted to a buy configuration within that. But from my viewpoint, anything above the 76%, it's like, yeah, you can go long, particularly from a short-term standpoint. Does that change the fact that there are headwinds ahead? No, but that doesn't affect the market. I mean, we had a nice fill back, took off a lot of the pressure, retraced all of the big move. Those are all healthy signs. Now, oil taking a nice plunge on this news because, there's peace in our time. And that means there's going to be no more conflict, and everyone's going to sign the memorandum of understanding, and everything will be finished, even though we just had a series of bombings. But it's all good, so don't worry about it. From a euro standpoint, that's super exciting for the eurozone. They can get back to focusing on the war with Russia, and that somehow lifts their tide because they raised interest rates, because inflation is running a lot hotter in the EU than they realized. Shock. What's the U.S. going to do on that case? I mean, running a lot hotter than anywhere else. So we'll see. And then, of course, gold excited from that news now, all of a sudden realizing, wow, yeah, inflation, we don't know where the rate of inflation is going to stop. And also enough to excite Bitcoin just fractionally, but your bicycle, orange under. So pretty straightforward. So there was the break above the previous range, just a little bit, nothing dramatic. And what was interesting about it was you had the MBI white lead from the previous day that caused the dip all the way back to the zero line. But then we ended up with magenta back over. Then you had the MBI white taking the lead briefly, but magenta fought for a little bit, but then went back underneath. But by that point, shorts were just pretty much out of the situation, not really taking an active stance, and you just traded sideways. And so, never dipping back down to the zero. Once magenta got back up over, that was enough to create a massive rise. And of course, they're all going to relate that to news events, but reading's pretty clear from that. Obviously, either people knew or you, they start making the trade because we wouldn't see it on the indicators beforehand if it wasn't something that was already known. That's what's always interesting to me about it. It's like, yes, the news breaks and people will say, well, that was the reason. It's like, yeah, but we saw the movement before. Yeah, what do you do with that? This is what it looked like intraday from the buy signals, lifted up, nice retrace. So you had your full up return. So your A, B, C type moves here, with a little bit of jaggedness in between, but pretty clean overall. I think some of the runs were pretty nice. And then later in the day, it was just all straight up to the top. Volume a bit more than we had been seeing, but not as much as some of the down days. And you can see from the Asian session was lower, but European session has bought that all up, but not very strong volume. So that's the thing. You're going to get these up moves, but do they have the strength? It's like, I don't think shorts really want to stay invested in anything too long. So for them, it's just a short hit it and you know reset and then wait for the next run up to do it again, particularly on week long. So that's what we look for. In that case. Doesn't change the fact that you still get an up move from it and just play that as it is. So all in all, it's going to be an interesting week with the SpaceX and that, and we'll continue to follow it. But geopolitically, uh, just very funny whether or not this latest resolution of the Iran conflict is finally done, or if it's just another. We sort of thought, but didn't quite happen. Either way, the market's near highs. So, does anyone care? No. Anyway, anything relevant, I will put it on the team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.